This is a short video describing some of the changes in LuckGrib in the May 2022 release. Some releases are small, some medium, some large. This is a medium release. Most of the changes are related to weather routing, although there have been some changes outside of that. I'll break this video into 3 parts. There'll be the introduction, which is where we are now, followed by the Mac changes, and followed by the iPhone and iPad changes. This introduction will describe a few things which apply to both platforms. So if you're on an iPhone or iPad, please continue watching for a brief minute. I'll put the timestamps in the description. So one of the big changes for weather routing is that the weather router now supports the notion of heaving to, and I'll describe that in much more detail in a separate video. But for now, let's create a weather route. And go through a few of the changes which apply to both platforms. So you'll notice right away that in the timeline at the bottom of the screen, there's now a big green bar. This is showing the duration of the selected route. I've just made 4 departures for this route, leaving every 24 hours for 4 days. And as you select the different departures, you can see in the timeline where that departure starts and when it ends. And the colors correspond to how the boat is traveling along that route. The colors are the same colors as are used in the sailing and motoring. So green is sailing, yellow is motoring slowly, purple is motoring, and red is the new Hove 2 color. So actually up here in the north part of this route, there's lots of strong conditions, and the vessel heaves too for a while up there. And again, I'll come back to this in more detail later. So you'll find these colors, it should be useful, and they apply to both Mac, iPhone, and iPad. I had a request from a customer to make it a little bit easier to work with departure planning. So this route has this solution has 4 different departures, and if you've now decided you want to accept this 4th departure, it had been tedious to reset the start time to the beginning of this departure. There's now a menu item which is set the start time from departure, in this case, 1st plus 3 days. So when you find the departure you like, simply select it, and then there'll be a menu in the time area on iPad or iPhone, or in this big menu on Mac, which will be to set the start time from the departure. So yeah, there's that. I've also expanded the Meteograms for weather routing. I had another customer ask me to include more of the grip parameters. So this grip file contains pressure, wind, and rain. And up till now, the weather routing Meteogram would only show the vessel speed and direction, wind, and relative winds, relative and apparent. And now it goes through the rest of the grip parameters. So in this case, you also see the pressure and the rain in the Meteogram. So that's kind of a nice touch. And I think that's the end of this section for the introduction. I'll go on to some Mac-specific changes. So if you're on the iPhone or iPad, you can skip forward a little bit. So on the Mac Meteogram, I found it really useful to be able to by clicking down in the window itself, now changes the time, the grip time. This is really useful. It makes it easier to study the different features. So looking at these relative winds, you can see that they're all on the port side here, and they change the starboard side. So right here, there's a tack. But yeah, I think that's useful. And the other thing, which I've changed on the Mac, only applies to people who use the application with a mouse. So I had a user, or a customer, email me asking me to spend a little bit more time making it easier to navigate the map using the mouse. I've been developing LuckGrib using a laptop, and on a laptop it's very easy to pan and zoom around using the trackpad or touchpad gestures. But on a Mac with a mouse, it was a little tedious to move the map around. So if you use a mouse now, the system knows that and it changes its behavior slightly. So if you use a touchpad or laptop, everything's the same. If you use a mouse and you click down with a mouse, now you can click drag anywhere in any tool to navigate, to pan the map around. So simply click down and move the mouse around to pan. And as before, if you click down on something, the tool will interact with the object you click on. So you can still click on a path to select it or to change time, as well as to click down on a start point or target point to move it around. Just undo that. Also, the scroll wheel will zoom the map. It used to do this, but it was zooming around the center of the screen, and now it zooms around the location of a mouse. So if you put the mouse at the start point, you can zoom into the start point and have that point be centered on the mouse. I'll also add that with a mouse, the menus used to come up in the tools when you click down. Now the menus come up when you right click or double click. So if I click on the right side of a mouse, the menu appears. If you click on the map, it pans. Also, if you double click, tap, the menu comes up. This is the same for all these different tools. So if I go into the rectangle tool, which is how you can specify a region to download, you can pan around by clicking. And if you want to make a new region, bring up the menu with a right click, select new region, and the region starts where you initially clicked. Move the mouse to some other area and click to finish. And similar to the weather routing tool, you can click and pan the map. If you click down on empty space, and if you click on the rectangle, you can move it around or edit its size. Clear the region. Same for the measure tool. If you click down and drag, you can pan. If you use the right click to bring up the menu, you can create a new line which starts at your cursor location initially, move to the other side of the line and click, and that will finish the line. And now you can click down on it to edit, or to bring up the menu again and clear it. Same is true for the points and routes tool. Right click to bring up the menu. So it's the same for all the different tools. Straightforward. Okay, I think I'll move on to the iOS, the iPhone and iPad. So the iPhone and iPad have a few changes as well, although not as many as on the Mac. Of course, the new Heave 2 capabilities are available on iPhone and iPad as well, and I'll have a separate video for that. But I'll show you one. I added one thing. I'll just make a weather route here. So similar to on the Mac, there is a color. The green color is showing in the timeline at the bottom of the screen. Colors show the duration and the travel mode for each of the different routes. So this route, if I go back to make it simpler, is showing that this departure is happening in 2 days, and that kind of shows you the relative duration of that route. So that's the same as on the Mac. That's nice. The other thing I added is, well, for the longest time, you've been able to alter the map location, either based on your current location, if your iPad or iPhone has a built-in GPS, or if you don't have a GPS or you want to go to a different location, you can simply tap on the latitude, longitude text box, and then tap in it, and then type in the latitude, longitude you want to see. So it's latitude, degrees, minutes, longitude, degrees, minutes, 10, 20, 30, 40, where's that, I wonder? Middle of the Atlantic. So that's there, that's up there for a long time, but I've added the ability to edit the grib time now as well. So if you tap on the grib time, a new editor appears. So in the past, it's been hard to set the start time to an exact time. You could tap in the timeline and move it around. But if you want it to be exactly now, or if you have a different departure time you want to type in exactly, that has been difficult. So now you can tap in the time, and this editor has 5 fields: year, month, day, then hour, minute. So there's a button labeled now, which will let you change the time to be exactly now. Or if you have a different time in mind, you can tap the field you want to edit and then go up or down in increments. So if I want to leave on the 15th at around noon, you can change the hour, go back to noon, and then change the minutes to be 0. So there's noon on the 15th. So yeah, I hope that helps. Those of you who want to be able to give a exact starting time for a route. Or if you just want to look at a grib file and look at the forecast at an exact time. So I think with that, I'll leave this video for now. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be hoping to make a Heave 2 video soon, so watch for that. Bye.